This is the way, citizens. Astronesto here with my Greycat Roc mining guide to help you get the most out of your rock mining experience quickly. I had some great comments on my recent rock videos, and I used some of your tips to put together this guide to help other noobs like me. So thanks again for your great feedback and tips. Let's jump into the guide right after this. Thanks again guys for your support. We finally hit 50 subs, so that means it's time to give away our Mustang Alpha starter package. Check your messages in the next few days to see if you get a message from me confirming you are our lucky viewer. And if you did not win this time, we will be sure to have future giveaways. Thanks again for watching. Outfitting. Every ground and rock mining adventure starts out with the right equipment. Making top EUC will take you to some of the verse's harshest environments, where risk equals reward. To have a better chance of making it back with your high-value haul, get a MacFlex rucksack core. These can be found at the following locations. Not only is the rucksack a necessity for hand mining, but it can also be used to carry food and water we will need if we get into trouble out there. If you have not gotten one yet, I suggest going to Lorville to get it at Tammany & Sons, because that's where we will also find our next piece of armor. Pembroke armor is a must for rock mining on Arial and other hot temperature environments, because the rock will not shield us from outside temperatures. You can find the Pembroke armor at Lorville, also in Tammany & Sons. Make sure to also purchase the helmet. The Novikov armor should also be added to your wardrobe for cold environments. You can find a Novikov armor at Port Tressler in the armor store. This guide will focus on mining Hadanite in extreme warm temperatures on Arial to maximize your money-making potential in the shortest amount of time. So you won't need the Novikov for this guide, but it's still good to have. Getting a rock. As of the creation of this guide, the only way to get a rock is to purchase one in the pledge store. The going price is currently $55 US. Unfortunately, the bundled package with the cutlass no longer seems to be available. Supplies. If you took my advice and got a rucksack, put it on. Because the smart buy is to get some water bottles.
Smart buy.
If we get into trouble, water will help us rehydrate quickly. I recommend at least 4, but why not get 10 or more? The rucksack can hold it. It's a little quirky, but I got a tip that leaving water on your ship, even an empty water bottle, usually refills it when your ship gets stored. That is, if you're lucky enough to beat the 30 Ks to store it. I expect this will change, but for now, why not take advantage and leave 2 on your ship? Also, if you're on Everest Harbor, where I suggest you check in to start your rock Hadanite mining adventure, you can walk up the stairs in the open mall directly outside of the Easy Hab you woke up in, and start buying your bottles at Casaba. If you want to take a longer walk to the food court for some reason, the pizza shop and burrito joints both have it. But I'm all about saving time. For food, look for meal bars at Elroy's and the Everest Harbor Food Court. These can be stowed in your sack. Again, I recommend at least 4, but with your rucksack, there should be plenty of space for food and a variety of drinks. It's also good to have extra for the inevitable glitch here and there. And finally, metapens are always good to have, I think. I like to buy at least 2. You can usually find them at your favorite armor shop. So after getting some refreshment and meal bars, you're all set to take your ship out. Ship recommendations. Let's talk about ship recommendations for a minute here. Keep in mind you will need at least a freelancer or cutlass to haul your rock around. Most players right now have a freelancer for now. If you do, there is no rush and save your money. If you want, you can always buy a better ship in the game with all the money you're gonna make rock mining. And with all that out on my personal pledge feelings, let's talk about my top picks for rock hauling ships. These are my top 3 picks for rock hauling ships. Let me know if you agree. Number 3 on my list is the Carrack. With a generous cargo bay for holding rocks. I personally do not like the trip from the bridge to the cargo hold, even with the service elevator near the bridge, compared to the next 2 ships we're going to talk about, but most tell me they think it's pretty good. Another advantage is a great full service med bay and landing bay for a small snub fighter. You can even have a team member use the small ship to scout the environment ahead, which we'll talk about later. Number 2, and also the best for mining in groups, is the Valkyrie. Valkyrie's generous cargo bay can accommodate up to 4 rocks. And it's a short trip from the bridge to the cargo hold. There's also no med bay, but as you get better at managing your vitals, this will be less important. It's also more fun to mine with friends. The Valk also has better maneuverability than a Carrack, making it our recommendation for mining in groups. Special thanks to fellow UEMC Corp member Corrupted Omega for taking us out on his Valkyrie and sharing some of his mining tips in this guide. So finally, my number 1 top pick for rock mining is the Drake Cutlass Red. With the only downside being that it's primarily a solo mining experience, unless one person is the designated pilot and the other is the miner. The Red is the smallest ship with a med bay, and just enough room in the back to haul your rock. And don't forget the maneuverability of a Cutlass is going to help you jet around planets while burning less fuel. Just be careful with those thrusters that are prone to being knocked off, and the cargo bay ramp can be damaged, adding complications to any rock mining adventure. Drake reliability aside, I strongly recommend getting or upgrading to a Cutlass Red if you have the means. Let me know if you agree. Okay, now that we have the gear, drinks, supplies, and ships, it's time to rock. So Everest Harbor is the place to start your Hadanite runs. Orbiting Hurston, the station is the closest to Arial, a hotspot for Hadanite. Every rock mineable currently is guaranteed to be Hadanite on Arial. But that doesn't mean this is going to be easy. Head to either HDMS Latham or Bezdek. Both have garages to res your rock. Once you're loaded, it's time to scan for rocks. The sun is not your friend on Arial. With temperatures reaching upwards of 300 degrees, even the Pembroke can only give you so much survival time. And oh, by the way, you should be wearing it as soon as you get here. I got a great tip from Corrupted Omega to head to the dark side of Arial to beat the heat. So I like to try to determine where that is and head over there. I know it's a pain to do things in the dark, but with these temperatures, you'll be thanking me. Always be mindful of your survival time in the lower left-hand corner. If you find a nice spot in the dark, you can get 50 plus minutes of survival time. When this gets to around 6 minutes, the survival time drops fast and you'll need to scramble back into your ship. So if you get into trouble, you're going to want to drive your rock back to your ship ASAP. Get to the safety of the cabin and throw your helmet off to drink and rehydrate yourself. Which is why I like to leave at least 1 or 2 water bottles out to grab in a pinch. Otherwise you have to throw your Pembroke armor off, then put on your rucksack, and by the time you do all that, it might be too late. Scanning. So let's talk about scanning for suitable mining locations. I like to fly around 1200 to 1000 to scan for mineable deposits. Press tab to activate your scanner. Hold down your right mouse button to spool your scanner up to 100% for maximum range. Although if you want to scan quickly, you can use much less of a charge if you like quick blasts of scans as you're moving. You can use the scroll wheel on your mouse to expand or narrow the range of your scanner. The widest range does a 360 scan, while the most narrow range reduces the scanning circumference until it is virtually straight ahead. Keep this in mind as you decide how you want to fly around to find items. Searth 6 has a great video on scanning. I recommend you check it out if you want to know more about using your scanner. Hopefully I said his name correctly. Mineable deposits will appear as large and small AR cubes from your scanner results. You want to ignore the large ones, which will eventually look like boulders as you get closer. These can only be mined by mining ships like the Prospector and Mole. So the smaller cubes are where we want to go. These should eventually reveal diamond-shaped markers for the Hadanite rocks we can mine. Try to land close to your Mineables, but keep in mind the terrain, especially in a Cutlass. From experience I can say the cargo bay door can be an issue if you do not find a fairly level spot. And trust me, you do not want to risk breaking this door. Also, if you're using a red, it's a tight bay, and the rock can get stuck on the right side of the ship. So park and exit with care. But should it get stuck, just deploy the mining arm, which will help push the rock out of the ship. The first thing you should be doing is looking at your survivability time. keep an eye on it to figure out how long you can stay out there to mine safely. Remember that around 6 to 5 minutes, I recommend heading back to your ship before it's too late. Cruise over to your Hadanite deposits. Special thanks to Tessa D for mentioning that turning off the engine on your rock will stop it from skidding or drifting while you're trying to mine. If you're like me and you have an Xbox controller, you can leave a thumb on the analog stick pushed in the direction opposite of where your rock is sliding, if you want to leave the engine running, which I find helpful as you may need to chase fragments to collect later. The principles of mining are about the same in your rock as in a ship. For details on ship mining, I recommend checking out DigThat's mining tutorial, which helped me learn the mining process. Links will be in the description. Your rock scanner can analyze rock compositions, but since you're on Arial in this guide, we already know it's Hadanite, the prize rock mineable. Go ahead and just press M to activate your mining laser. Fire with the left click and scroll your throttle up using the mouse wheel. As with all mining, getting the rock energy level into the green zone is our objective. But bring your throttle down immediately and figure out how to keep it in the green. If you go over the green, you'll hear those rocks boiling and warnings will appear. You don't want these to explode, as it can damage the rock and lead to unmineable minerals, which cuts into our bottom line for this trip. So keep it in the green until she blows into a flurry of purple minerals. Switch to extraction mode using the right click on your mouse. Then use left click to start tractoring in those fragments. In my experience, it does not suck up minerals exactly where they appear to be, which can be frustrating and I assume is a bug. Let me know. So what I suggest is slowly move your beam near the fragments until they get sucked up. The collection force meter can also help you see this. Fragments that are purple around the area can be scooped up also as you head back to your ship when you are done. Just remember to keep an eye out for that survival time estimate. Once you're back on your ship, rinse and repeat until your cargo capacity is full. Or in this case, you can see my ship is glitching a little due to a lot of 30K server disconnects recently. I recommend, if you're feeling uneasy about the server stability, just head back to sell your ore. The verse is a strange place where anything can happen in these beta days, so try to make your time count and not completely lose your work. Speaking of selling your ore, so you can sell your ore at the 2 stations Latham and Bezdek on Arial. As Corrupted showed me, going back to Everest Harbor is your best bet. It's easier to navigate back to quickly, and with the amenities of an R&R, why not? Once you've landed safely, head to the admin office and sell what you have. In this example, I wanted to get back before the server got me, so I'm cashing out just 29% rock cargo capacity for 64K EUC, which is not bad at all in my book. A full load can make you upwards of 200K. I wouldn't say it's get rich quick, because there's a lot of steps involved. But with a good server day, in about an hour, you have a good chance of filling up your rock. So that was my rock mining guide. Please let me know if I missed anything, or if you have a tip in the comments below. Thanks for sticking to the end, and I hope you found this helpful. Special thanks to all of you for helping me figure this out. I'm now enjoying the rock experience a lot more. If you enjoyed this guide, please leave a like and a comment. It means a lot for a channel of this size. And if there are any other guides you would like to see, also let me know. This is Astronesto wishing you good health and mining fortunes out there.